I feel that's what led me to QVC. That's why I'm put here to help women feel beautiful at every shape and size. I feel that is what God wants from me.
And how are you doing it? I mean, at QVC, it has been amazing. Your line is now a couple years old, right?
A year and
Wow.
3 months.
I feel like you've always been a part of the family.
Oh, that's very sweet. That touches me deeply. I really feel with every host, every person, every designer, everyone I've met, I'm like, oh, huh, wow, this is what I've been waiting for. This is where I'm meant to be. This is my home.
When you work at QVC, you are very much, you give your heart and soul. You can't be somebody else off air that you are on air. And I was on air with him and I was going through a struggle with addiction within my own family. And it was a God thing. He said
Backstage,
something and it was backstage. He said something and you said something about addiction. And I turned to him and I said, oh my goodness, I'm going through this. Can you help? And I literally and figuratively collapsed onto Lawrence. This guy who I'd maybe worked with once before, knew he was wonderful, but we weren't close. And that intimacy and vulnerability just bred friendship.
and here's the thing. Again, I say it all the time. We are moved like chess pieces. God has the master hand and moves us to where we're meant to be and what we're supposed to do. I shouldn't be here. I should be dead. Alcohol and drugs are a big part of my story, a big part of my life. I've been sober almost by the grace of God through a 12-step program for almost 20 years. My mother died. Sweet Doris died at 58 from this
Wow.
disease. So I, number one, scream it from the rooftops. Number two, that is, again, what I'm meant to do. Tell other people, because as we know, like especially right now with what's going on in the world, it's a very heavy time, a very tumultuous time. And what people want is they want to find their tribe. They want to share their story so they don't feel so well. Oh, I'm going through it too. Oh, I can relate to that. If we share one story and somebody else echoes it back, we're not alone. Somebody else is saying the same story. So with you
Yeah.
backstage, you obviously needed something. And that was just to be seen, to be heard, to be covered in love and God's grace. And I'll never forget that moment. It was powerful. It was poignant. It was what was meant to be. And hopefully, through God's direction and orchestration, it was a healing salve that helped you navigate the turmoil that was happening at that moment in your family.
Yeah. And it was. And this is the kind of guy that Lawrence is. He's like, here's my phone number. We're going to talk. And he called and he checked in and he texted over and over again in the next few days, weeks, months. And I know that I could always call and text him. And here's the thing, and I talk about this a lot on this podcast because we do talk about moving from stress to rest. Two biggest stressors that you're going to have in your life are going to be work and relationships. And relationships, part of that can be that you need to set up boundaries with people who are unhealthy in
Mhm.
your life. But just as big a part of that is that you need to take down some boundaries and be vulnerable with somebody and be able to share your story, like Lawrence is talking about. So for me to go, okay, here's this celebrity guy who I don't really know, who I just cried all over. And then he gave me his phone number. And for me to be able to be vulnerable enough to actually use the phone number, that's scary, right? Because we have a lot of ego and pride in our lives. But knowing that in order for me to make it through this stressful season of life, I had to do that. And then the beautiful friendship that comes out of it. This is where you have to be able to put yourself out there, my friends.